submit yourselves to your husbands as unto the Lord. Man, talk about an interesting topic. I mean, this is one of those passages that can go volatile quickly. This whole submission, that word submission is just kind of unnerving because this sinful nature, none of us really likes to submit to anything. Okay, we like our autonomy. We like being in charge. And so it's a struggle just dealing with the word submission. And over the years, I've heard this in church, and it's just always funny to watch the reactions of people when this topic comes up. It can get comical really quick, right? And what's funny is that, people, we're in church, right? So when it comes up, it might be in a Bible study, something like that. And you can tell the ones that it's really like kind of struggles with it, because this passage is found in Ephesians 5 and it's 22. But what's funny is that someone will quickly interject. Well, now, it says in verse 21 that we are to submit to one another. Yeah. Okay. Now, but here's the thing. When Paul is talking at that point, and don't throw any shoes at me, okay? Just, all right? Because I could feel like, what? Okay. He's talking to the body. He's talking to the church. We ought to submit one to another in the fear of Christ, okay? But it's funny how that verse will get thrown in, okay? And yes, it also says, wives, submit to your husbands as to the Lord, because the husband is the head of the wife as Christ is head of the church. He is the savior of the body. Now, as the church submits to Christ, so also wives are to submit to their husbands in everything. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself for her to make her holy, cleansing her with the washing water by the word. Okay, so we both have something to do, the husband and the wife. It's just comical how this can go. And I find myself saying, okay, what's the struggle? What is the struggle? Because it's really just talking about a hierarchy, okay? When it talks about wives submitting themselves to their husband, what it doesn't mean is that the wife is less than, because we're all created in the image of God, right? We all are equal. Even Jesus submitted to the Father. Even though they are equal, he submitted, okay? So it's just a hierarchy. And what I find interesting is that no one really struggles with this hierarchy except for in the family. In the family. You'll look in church and go, what? Submit, and then you'll go right to work. What would you have me to do, Mr. So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so? What would you like for me to do? You're submitting. You're submitting to their authority. They're no better than you, but you're submitting, okay? Police officer pulls you over. Yes, officer. You're submitting. Police officers no better than you. We have hierarchies all over the place. The President of the United States, we submit, but they're no better than us. So when it's just talking about hierarchy, and sometimes this gets confused with a better than. No, it doesn't mean that the husband's supposed to, be a taskmaster and run over, all of that silly stuff. Okay, it's not supposed to be that, because it just said that husbands supposed to love their wives as Christ loved the church. What does that mean? That he's supposed to be sacrificially putting himself and putting his wife before himself. So we know it can't mean that the husband can just be, some type of bully to his wife. It's not saying that. And just a little inside, ladies. This whole head of the house thing, it's overrated. It really is. Sometimes I just don't like it. You know why? Because when it all hits the fan, God's gonna come for me. He's not coming for my wife. Just like in the garden. Okay? Who did God call? Adam. Adam, where are you? Okay, so when things go wrong here, Donovan, I'm the one getting called. And sometimes I just don't like the pressure. Okay? So trust me when I say, I'm not one of these walking around like, yeah, I'm the head of the house. Yeah. What? No, because it all falls on me. All it means is I'm responsible. That's all it means. Okay? You might go to a restaurant, right? And the waiter, waitress gives you a hard time, whatever, had a bad attitude. And you say, go get your manager. Go get your manager. Now the manager, he just in the back making schedules and doing paperwork. Didn't do nothing to you. Just back there doing this thing. And you let the manager have it. He didn't do nothing. He or she did not treat you rude or anything. But they're responsible. What happens when the football team keeps messing up? Who's about to be fired? The coach. Now, sometimes there is bad coaching, don't get me wrong. Okay? But the coach wasn't dropping passes and missing blocks, and the player was. But who's responsible? So, you see how I can say this head of the house thing, it's overrated a lot of times. Because it just really means when it all hits the fan, he's going to call my name. Not my wife's. He's calling me. Okay? So when we look at this passage, just understand that it's not about superiority in any kind of way. It's just about hierarchy. There's hierarchy in the Trinity. Okay? There's hierarchies all around us. And it's amazing how we're okay with that, except with the family. And I think that's just a trick of the enemy, because the enemy knows that if he can get the family all messed up, everything else will just fall in place being messed up. Because healthy families produce healthy communities produce healthy cities produce healthy states, and so on, right? So the first place we're going to have a problem with hierarchy, unfortunately, a lot of times, is in the house. So I hope this has been helpful. Maybe brought some clarity to some things. I know I kind of was a little comical with it, but that's how I am. But I hope it helps someone and brings some clarity to this whole statement of submitting. Okay? So please like, subscribe, and share. Remember, keep your faith in front.